Assalamualaikum dear students, this is Indra Mughal. The subject that I teach you is development economics. Today I am going to teach you human capital, education and health in economic development. To end poverty and boost shared prosperity, countries need robust, inclusive economic growth. And to drive growth, they need to build human capital through investments in health, education, and social protection for all their citizens. Outline the central roles of education and health. Investing in education and health, the human capital approach. Child labor, the gender gap, discrimination in education and health, education systems and development. In last, health measurement and disease burden. Education and health are basic objectives of development. Both are fundamental to enhancing the quality of human life and ensuring economic progress. Health is central to well-being and education is essential for a satisfying and rewarding life. Both are fundamental to the broader notion of expanded human capabilities that lie at the heart of the meaning of development. Here we recall the Amartya Sen's capability approach that focuses directly on the quality of life that individuals are actually able to achieve. This quality of life is analyzed in terms of the core concepts of functioning and capability. So, what is the functioning? Functionings are states of being and doing, such as being well nourished, having shelter, and whereas the capability refers to the set of valuable functionings that a person has effective access to. For example, the capabilities of literacy, health, or political freedom. Education is essential for satisfying and rewarding life, while at the same time, education enabling the developing country to absorb modern technology and develop capacity for self-sustaining growth. Whereas health is prerequisite for increases in productivity and providing a base for education to thrive. Thus, both education and health are vital components of growth and development, inputs to aggregate production function. Their dual role as input and outputs gives them a central place in economic development. Improvements in health and education. Health under 5 mortality rate. In 1950, 280 of every 1,000 children in the developing country, in the developing world as a whole, died before their 5th birthday. By 2008, that number had fallen to 118 of every 1,000 in low-income countries and 57 of 1,000 and middle income countries. Though now compared with 7 of every 1,000 in high income countries and just 4 in many European countries. Second point is education. In addition, recent decades have witnessed a historically record extension of literacy and other basic education to a majority of people in the developing world. The United Nations reports that although there were still a staggering 775 million illiterate people aged 15 or older in the world in 2004, the good news is that 82% of all people are literate today compared to just 73% as recently as 1970. But almost two-thirds of the world's illiterate people are women. Improvements in health and education is continued. Despite great progress, there remain large deficiencies in health and education in developing countries. Education and health is joint investments for development. Health and education are closely related in economic development. On one hand, greater health capital may improve the return to investments in education, in part because health is an important factor in school attendance and in the formal learning process of a child. A longer life raises the return to investments in education. Better health at any point during working life may in effect lower the rate of depreciation of education capital. On the other hand, greater education capital may improve the return to investments in health because many health programs rely on basic skills often learned at school, including personal hygiene and sanitation, not to mention basic literacy and numeracy. Education is also needed for the formation and training of health personnel. Finally, an improvement in productive efficiency from investments in education raises the return on a life-saving investment in health. Improving health and education. Why? Why increasing incomes is not sufficient? With higher income, people and government can afford to spend more on health and education. And with greater health and education comes greater productivity and incomes. As normal goods, people will spend more on human capital when income is higher. However, evidence does not show a proportionate rise in income and health and education. Household choices of consumption may lead to this small linkage. between income and nutrition. Income, number one is income is spent on other goods than food. Number second point is part of food expenditure includes increasing food variety, then nutrition or calories. I give you here the example. An increase in income frequently allows families in developing countries to switch consumption from nutritious foods such as beans and rice to non-nutritious empty calories such as candy and soda, which may be perceived as modern and symbolic of economic success. The better education of the mother, the better the health of her children. Formal education teaches health knowledge to future mothers. Literacy and numeracy skills help them in diagnosing and assessing their child's health problems, and exposure to modern society makes them more receptive to modern medical facilities. Significant market failures in education and health require policy action. Is the WHO, World Health Organization, concluded that ultimate responsibility for the performance of a country's health system lies with government. Dear students, see the figure that showed the correlation between under 5 mortality and mothers education. As you can see here, the figure showed the there are 5 different countries data of correlation between under 5 mortality and mothers education. Although formal education is needed in complementary relationship with ongoing access to current information. As this figure showed that a mother's basic education had a positive effect on her children's health. Furthermore, the mother's health knowledge alone appears to be the crucial skill for raising child health.